The 2 months before the program, I only had $1,000 in revenue total. Then after the program, I think my highest day was like 45,000 in revenue.
Wow, that's crazy.
So last month we did over 400,000 euros in revenue in November.
Wow, it's crazy what's possible because it's all online. If you have something that works, why not sell it to more people, right?
And it's just because you guys actually know the inputs that lead to the outputs.
Yes, guys, welcome to another interview. I'm here with my client, Jacob. He managed to do great things within our program. In this interview, we'll dive deeper into his story, backstory, and also what he managed to achieve. So, Jacob, how are you doing today?
I'm doing super well. Thank you for having me on. It's been a pleasure being in your program so far, and I'm happy to answer any of your questions and get into it.
Awesome, man. So, first off, who are you? Can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. So, hi guys. My name is Jacob Rowatsky. I don't even, what do you even say to introduce yourself to something like this? I've been a YouTuber since I was 14. I started as a kid just like playing Call of Duty and like watching some early Call of Duty YouTubers like XJaws and Woody's Gamertag, and some people will be familiar with those guys. I'm not even sure if they still make content anymore, to be honest. I mean, I was just kind of like inspired by them, and I was like, man. Oh, well, okay. Actually, the real reason I started making Call of Duty videos is because my mom was like, you can't play any more video games. And I was like, but what if I do something productive with it? So I was like, if I record myself, it became an excuse to be able to play more Call of Duty. Like that's the real reason I started at the very beginning. I was like, if I'm recording myself, wait, my mom's going to let me play longer. Like that's awesome. And then, it was a couple years into just recording myself playing, video games. I learned I could like make money online with that. Like YouTube would actually pay you some ad revenue, and my mind got blown. I got hooked on YouTube, probably too hooked on YouTube. Because now I'm 29. I've done YouTube for 15 years. And it's been an up and down experience for sure. Like there's been super high highs, super low lows. Like you don't even know, like having teams and losing the whole teams, like losing entire channels before. And this was like kind of my first entrepreneurial experience outside of YouTube. And I'm just like realizing like, oh my gosh, I was kind of stuck in that YouTube walled garden for way too long. And there is so much more opportunity in the world than just like making like hardly anything per view. Like you have to get like thousands and thousands of views to make any money on YouTube. And when you're actually just like selling a product, it's crazy. Like you hardly need any website visits to get a good number of sales. And yeah, I wish I had started ecom sooner.
And it becomes like a video game too, right? E-commerce.
Yeah, no, it really is. Like you have all these inputs and stuff. Like I know, like as human beings, I think we like have an innate desire to build things, to grow something, and video games play on that, especially I mean, there's so many that play on that in so many different ways, but like you can like sit on your app and like do like clicking games, and people will just do that because eventually they can like upgrade their like clicker and like do like automatic clickers and like all of a sudden just make more of this fake stuff. And yeah, e-commerce in many ways, it like triggers those same things, except it's all real. And it's like all the work you're putting in, it actually matters. You can have an impact on the world because of it. Like it can actually change your life. It can change your situation. And yeah, it's so easy in our society right now to just like waste your brain power, doing things that like trigger those same things, but then you're done with it and your life isn't changed at all and you feel like a loser. Yeah.
Is that right now like your opinion on gaming, or what is right now your, because I was gaming, and I think in some regard it kind of helped me later down the line to for example know how to build things, how to navigate, make a good strategy. But I pivoted when I was 18 to ecom, so I didn't do it all in my 20s. But
so the channel that I had most recently before starting ecom was called On-Chain Gaming. And it was all about like this dream of turning video games into like real economies. So like in World of Warcraft, for example, like you can buy the currency in World of Warcraft for real money. And there are people that like make a good amount of money against terms of service, like selling World of Warcraft currency. So the whole concept was that like, if you actually turn these currencies in these massive multiplayer online games into cryptocurrencies, and then you turned all of the assets in the games into NFTs so that you can actually buy and sell swords and houses or whatever inside the game, then essentially you're like creating a brand new digital country whose currency is interchangeable with any other like global currency. And if you become something in this digital world, like all of a sudden it can affect you financially in real life. And I still think that concept is really, really cool. I think there's a lot of potential there. And I do think that in time, there will be some pretty big digital worlds like that.
Yeah.
At the same time, well, and I do think video games can help you in many ways with like reflexes and quick thinking. And like, there's a lot of good training aspects in it for sure. But at the same time, there's nothing like actually doing something in the real world. Like there's something unique about that. And I think that for too long, I treated the real world as something like too different from a video game when it's really not that different from a video game. But like it's so much easier to get overwhelmed by like the anxiety and the stress. Whereas a video game, you know that it's not real. So you can take more risks. You feel like you can kind of jump out on the ledge, or like off the building in a game. But in real life, it's like, it feels so different. So I don't know. I think that might actually be like one of Elon Musk's superpowers is that he just like really sees real life a bit more like a video game.
But I heard he's a heavy gamer too. But
he is a heavy gamer,
to train himself and stuff.
Yeah, I think Elon's like the number one ranked player in Diablo. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, Diablo. Yeah, crazy. So when came like the moment for you that you started thinking I got to do something else?
Yeah. So it was I've been a slow learner in this regard, to be completely honest. Because like I said, when I first started tasting YouTube ad revenue, I was like hooked on that. But you hardly make anything. So then I started to wake up that like maybe I should do e-commerce after. Well, first I moved to sponsors. I realized like having sponsors in the videos paid you way more than letting Google sell ads and then just like getting some pre-roll ads on your videos. Yeah. So the sponsors, like, man, I was like, wow, they pay so much more, but it was very difficult as an influencer because you don't want to promote anything that you don't really believe in yourself. And there's just like so many things like asking you to promote them that you don't actually believe in. And I found out that I was like saying no to almost everything. And I was like, this is a terrible way to run a business. But it's because I didn't want to promote everything. And then we had one sponsor that we sold like, I think almost $5 million worth of these like gaming nodes for during on-chain gaming. And we only saw like 2-3% of that revenue. And most of it went to my employees. Like I hardly had any profit from on-chain gaming. But that's what woke up I was like, wait, we did this much revenue in direct referrals from our channel, like $5 million, and we're making like $20,000 this month from these referrals. I was like, I need to be on the other side. Like I need to be the one selling the nodes. Like I need to have an actual product, because as an influencer, it's like, I feel like I was such like a valuable cog in that wheel, like driving everyone to the site, like convincing everyone to actually buy. And I was getting almost none of it. I was like, I need to create my own brand. Like I need to do something where I actually have something of value to give to others, so that I can actually receive that money. And yeah, that's when I really started to decide like I need to start my own company. I need to do something outside of YouTube.
When and when was this? And when did you then go ahead and start something for yourself, or was really the first touch point with you and ecom was that our program?
Yeah, so I did start on myself first, and actually e-commerce wasn't even the first thing I tried. So after COVID ended, and we had like a pretty big market crash, like crypto market crash, stock market crash. Kind of after that, everyone started going outside. People stopped caring about gaming as much. And we, like, a lot of our sponsors went out of business. I had to let my team go. And I was like really just reeling, like kind of uncertain what I should do, feeling like the last several things I had done kind of like fell apart. And I was feeling very down about like I had two of my brothers working for me. And like having to like let them go because I couldn't provide income to them anymore. Like I was feeling very crushed. But I also knew I needed to do something outside of YouTube, which I knew was going to be difficult. So I tried to start like an AI startup because obviously like AI was the next big thing after crypto, after COVID. So I had this idea for like this AI book that would like answer questions for you, like based on the book that you are reading or something. But I'm not a coder. So I hired it I had one of my friends who is a coder, co-found this with me. But he ended up having some like life issues and like was going through a divorce, and he ended up getting a job at Amazon. He's like, hey, I just have to get some stability in my life. So he left, and I was like trying to do coding through AI, but I was like I need to do something that like I actually am like fully in control of, because I need to get this off the ground myself. So after Magic Book, I started just like really searching around, and that is when I discovered ecom. I actually saw a YouTube video from I think his name Jonathan Welch. He's actually done some videos with you before. I was actually introduced to you through one of his videos.
That's crazy. I did a video with him this year. It did like 1 million views. It went viral. Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah. So there was like one video he posted. It wasn't even on his main channel. I hadn't even seen his main channel, but I saw this video from his secondary channel where he's just like, I just sold my business for like 10 or 8 figures, I think, like 10 million. And now I'm depressed, lol. Like that was the title of the video. And I watched that because I'm just like searching. I'm like in between things. I don't have immediate income coming in. I mean, I've like saved up like investments and stuff. So I'm kind of just living off of that. And I'm like, wait, this guy like just sold something for 10 million. Like, what did he do? What did he build? So after watching that video, I'm like, I need to figure out what this guy was doing. And it turned out that he started with dropshipping. And he just had like a free course that was just like, it was just like a 1 week free course, where he helps you like create your first Shopify store and get your first sale. And like, that's the whole point of the course, is like, let's help you get your first sale. So I did that whole week course in 1 day. Like I just like flew through it, built the whole Shopify store, got everything set up, like hooked up to everything, launched my first ads, like all in that 1 day. Cause I was just like so inspired by the fact that he like sold a business for $10 million. And I'm like, I'm not doing anything else right now. And that's how it kind of like for the first 2 months after that, I was just like watching YouTube videos and trying to learn. So I tried like 4 products before joining the course. But for each one, I was building a brand new Shopify store with no idea if the product was going to work or anything, like trying to set up brand new socials, like building a whole original website every single time. So it would just take so long. Like you'd need like a week for each, or 2 weeks for each product, that you were trying to launch. And before I joined the course, I was like, so there's always this voice in the back of your mind, right, that tells you you're not going to be able to make it. That like tells you like, oh, these other people that are doing these numbers is like they're different from you in some way, like, and they do have knowledge that you don't have. But besides that, I feel like as a human being, like we all have the capacity to like click the buttons and stuff that you need to click, but they have knowledge that you don't have. So before I joined the course, I was like, I'm going to double down on this. I'm like, I have to have at least made it further than like half the people that have tried this so far. Cause I've been doing this for a month and a half and I haven't given up yet. It's like at least half the people have probably already given up by this point. Cause like I knew how hard it is to like get super excited about a product, build a whole store for it, build socials for it, try to launch an ad, and it just does nothing. And you just lose like $500 trying to advertise the product. And you're like, crap, I just wasted the last 2 weeks. And then you do it again. You're like, crap, I just wasted the last 2 weeks. And you do it again. You're like, crap, this is not going to work. And I was like, so I'm like, okay, if half the people have already quit, I just need to like maybe get in the top like 10% of the 50% that are still in it right now. And I was like, now how do I do that? So I created this whole plan for myself that I thought was like super hardcore, where I was going to try and test 2 products per week. And I like had like some Upwork job posts, because as a YouTuber, I'm like, I have to create like at least 3 original ads for each product I want to try. So I was like, that's 6 videos a week I have to be able to make to launch, to try testing 2 products a week. And in the interview to join this course, I was like intrigued, because I've heard you in interviews say things like you have to test like 3 to 5 products a day. And in the interview to join this course, I was like, how do you do that? And I was like, if you're testing 5 products a day, it's like, and you're making 3 or like videos for each one. It's like, you have to make 15 videos every single day. Like, I'm a YouTuber. Like, I know, like that is so hard to do that. And for my first products, like I tried to sell this like neck pillow for flying. So I literally like drove to the airport with my sister after buying the products, and we were like filming ourselves, like wearing the pillow, like pretending to sleep, like on the shuttle, like in the car. And like I had to like plan out, okay, this is our ad. Like, this is what we're going to try to like do, and like make all original stuff. And I was like, there's no way you can test 5 products a day. And then I joined the course, and it's like, you just get the roadmaps. Like, this is what you do. You're not doing anything extra, like beyond what you really need to. And the whole thing is so smart, because it's just about like, you don't know what product is going to find product market fit, but that's okay, because there's literally thousands of products that you can try. And when you're doing 5 a day, you're just doing so much testing volume that I feel like it's inevitable that eventually you're going to find a product that has like some amount of product market fit. And because of that, like I think I could have become successful if I didn't get too demotivated on my own first from just so many fails and trying so slowly to succeed. But like, yeah, maybe after 6 months, a year, like I eventually would have found a product that worked. But joining the course, it just saved me like at minimum, probably 10 months of just struggling on my own.
Our strategy is hardcore compared to what people think. Like people, what you did is what a lot of people do: find one product, build like a whole store around it, work on it for a month, then launch it. But you just test one product, right? So how was like your first month going into the program? How was the coaching, the help of your coach, the strategy? Just overall, how did it go?
It went really well. Like, I feel like the course is like laid out pretty well, where if you are like just watching through all the content, like you pretty much know everything you have to do after you watch all the course material. But then having the coach there is so helpful, because like hearing it once and like kind of having an idea of what you need to do is so different than, hey, I'm stuck here. Hey, I'm stuck here. Like, hey, can you help me overcome this? And there are so many things. Like, I feel like in many ways, when you're trying to succeed in e-commerce, it's like you're trying to break the mold of what the average human person does, which means that there's like pushback in every single direction. From your credit cards start getting declined because you're spending so much on ad revenue that I'm like calling the bank every single day because they keep declining Facebook like ad transactions, to you start making a lot of money and all of a sudden PayPal's like, hey, we're going to hold everything that you're making because we have no idea what you're selling or if you're going to rip these people off. And it's just like, at least for me, there was like hundreds of thousands of dollars from like before, like I've had my PayPal for like many, many years. But before it was like, I would get like a once a month transaction from Google and that was it. So all of a sudden getting literally thousands of transactions that are like between like 50 and, I mean, we had one guy spend $1,300 on the store by himself. And PayPal's like, what are you doing? And at the very beginning too, it's like my first couple stores, I actually like wasn't paying attention to like PayPal disputes and stuff. So I didn't even know that like one of the neck pillows, like there was a dispute that someone didn't receive it when they just hadn't received it yet, which is why they did the dispute. But I didn't even see it and I didn't respond to it. So that just like went, so the customer got a full refund and they got the neck pillow as well. But as far as PayPal knew, it's like my account was, I had one dispute that I lost and didn't even respond to. And now all of a sudden I start doing all these transactions. And that's the only thing that they know about me, is that from like 5 sales, I have 1 dispute, which is like way too high of a dispute ratio. So they just held everything. And just having my coach there to be like, okay, PayPal locking your account, it's like not the end of the world. Cause like I was freaking out. I was like, I'm not going to be able to transfer any of this money out. Like I've just wasted like several $100,000 like advertising. I'm not going to be able to get any of this money out. And he's like, no, it's going to be okay. And like I called PayPal twice during this period. Both times they literally locked my account. Both times I called them. The second time, after the first review, the second time, they literally locked my ability to accept payments as well. And I was like flying home from my sister's wedding. So I wasn't paying attention. There was a layover. I missed a flight. So there were 2 days that I was spending like $5,000 on ads and couldn't even accept payments. So, because we're in the German market and it's like 90% PayPal. So we had like no revenue and I just like burned cash 2 days in a row because I wasn't paying attention, because I was flying home. And there's so many roadblocks like that. But it's like, hey, the coach helps. Like, this is how you set up your Hong Kong company. This is how you get a Hong Kong PayPal. Like there's another way to do this. Like here's how you get your agency ad account. Like every single roadblock that you face, you have someone there to help you overcome it. And if you're there on your own, like every single time one of these problems popped up, I'm like, man, that's 10% of more people that just quit right now. And it's like, how many more are left running with me at this point?
Yeah. That's why there is, in my opinion, not much competition, because the ones that they try on their own, they hit one obstacle and they quit. And then they say dropshipping is dead, right? So what were kind of the numbers you were able to do? Because I hear you say, okay, even one guy spent like $1,300. Like, can you talk a bit about what you were able to achieve within the program?
Yeah. So the 2 months before the program, I only had $1,000 in revenue total, and about a like $3,000 or $4,000 loss. So yeah, I spent like $3,000-4,000 to make 1,000 in sales. Then after the program, it like I had an $800 day, like probably 2 weeks in, on like a Sunday. But then that next Monday, I literally spent like $500 or $600 in ads. So from Sunday to Monday, and had 0 sales. And that day I'm like, I am not going to fail at this. Like I am going to succeed. Like I just felt this crazy fire because I had just been hanging out with my family like the day before on Sunday. I was like so excited about having $800 in sales. And like, I was like, I had $0 in sales. So like, this is not acceptable. So I decided that day I was going to try to research 50 products using the method that they teach in your course. And I was like 25, 30 products in, and I found this one product that had like several million reach in like less than 2 weeks. And it was only in, I think, like Belgium and Norway, which is what, like in total, like 20, 30 million population. Mm-hmm. And I was like, this thing has 2 million reach in less than 2 weeks. Like that's like what, over 5% of the like population that's on Facebook or something. Like that's crazy. And I just felt like that ad stood out so much compared to all the other stuff that I had researched that day that I literally quit. I scratched my plan of doing the 50 products. I'm like, I'm launching this collection right now. And it was the first collection I had ever launched as well. So I had to list to like 22 products. I had to like try to perfectly replicate the collection page. So it was a lot of work listing 22 products by yourself after you just researched like 30 products. But it's like, you just have to have that fire. You just have to decide it doesn't matter. You're going to go for it. And I mean, I'll get back to answering your question on the numbers, guys. Don't worry. I'll tell you the numbers in a second. But it's like, one of the things you have to realize is like the plans you have, like they kind of don't matter. You just have to get the work done. Like when I joined this course, I'm like, I'm going to wake up at 3 a.m. every single morning. I'm going to like do like a workout. Like I'm going to go on a walk. I'm going to like listen to books. I'm going to have like this 3-hour period every morning where I'm like meditating and stuff. And it's like, no, the end of the days, but like a couple weeks into it, I'm just like, I need to get all my tasks done off my sheet. It doesn't matter what time I go to bed. It's like, I'm not going to sleep until I'm done with all the stuff that my coach said I have to do. And that mindset shift was just so crazy where it's like, okay, I don't have to have this like perfect routine. I need to get my freaking work done. Like that's the only thing that matters. And like you can watch the super successful people like you, for example, and like see your nice like morning routine and like how you're meditating and stuff. But it's like, that's probably not how you got to where you are now. Like at the beginning, like you're freaking put in hours. So sorry, that was a little bit of a side tangent. But after launching this product, it was pretty crazy. Like I went from like a $600 loss one day to like a $200 loss to like a $200 or $300 profit. And before I knew it, like I'm doing $4,000 or $5,000 days. And I ended up scaling the product like pretty far in Germany. And then I'm like, this product is like, I was getting like 3 ROAS on like several thousand spend. And I'm like, I can just up the spend more. And thankfully, because I've been investing from YouTube for so long, like so guys, if you don't have any resources, like you're going to have to scale a little bit slower. Like that's just the bottom line. But I was able to bring in several $100,000 from my investment portfolio to fund this while all my money was on hold. But I launched in UK and Canada with the same exact product, just opened up 2 new stores and scaled all the way up to, I think my highest day was like 45,000 in revenue.
Wow. That's
crazy. So
wow.
Last month we did over 400,000 euros in revenue in November.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Was that your last month in the program or are you still in the program?
I'm in, I think maybe the first or second week of month 3.
Okay. Oh, that's good. So basically you kind of did like 400K euros in your second month in the program.
Yeah. And even my first month was profitable. Like, wait, I can pull it up and look so I can say the exact numbers. So the first 15 days I lost money in October. But by the end of October, I already had 17K euros in profit from 103,000 euros in revenue on month 1. And then, month 2, 40K in revenue. Now, my profit didn't go up as much. Like I was a little under 30K in profit in month 2 from 400K of revenue. So that's like very low profit margins. But it's because, and I don't know if this is smart. Like, tell me if this is stupid, please. Cause like I need advice, for sure. But I decided to try and use this first winter to build out a team as fast as possible and like scale from testing 5 products a day to testing 15 products a day. So
that's where a lot of money goes, of course.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like a lot of testing. I hired like a pretty big team and like they're still being so the first thing I did actually was I took 2 of my brothers who had already worked for me on my past YouTube channel, and they were both in different states, and I'm like, you guys need to come back, like move back to Texas, because this thing is going to be way bigger than On-Chain Gaming ever had a dream of being. I was like, I need you guys to come. I will pay you some like ownership percentage as part of your pay, but I need help. Like, cause I cannot continue this momentum like on my own. It's like, if I'm going to continue scaling and start testing even more, I was like, I need you guys back. I got my mom to start like filling in sheets and stuff because it's like a lot of work, like filling in your testing sheets and your profit sheets and your balance sheet. And like, but you need all that data. So you can't try and do this without that data, or you're going to end up losing money, especially when you're like I'm like pushing myself on the profit margin side. So if I don't know my actual numbers, it's like, I'm going to turn out to be losing money. So one of them was learning like media creation and ad buying. One of my brothers is doing all the listing and stuff. I actually hired my sister for customer support and then my mom for doing like the sheets and finances. Once they all knew their jobs well, I'm like, okay, we've been able to hit 5 products a day with all of us doing like the different jobs. Now it's time. Each of you are going to have Philippine employees and you're each going to be running your teams. So now my brother who's doing media buying, he hired 2 media buyers. We just had to fire one because he wasn't showing up to meetings and wasn't doing a good job. So he has another interview. So he's trying to train 2 people to do media. My brother is trying to train 3 people to do product listing. And then we have like a lot of improvements, a lot of translations to make and stuff. to launch a new store.
You want to go big. I like how you.
I want to go big. I want to go to. So my first goal here is 450K profit per month. Like that's what I want to hit, because like I have much bigger goals and dreams like outside of e-commerce. Like I want to start a nonprofit. Like I want to be able to actually improve the world. I grew up as a missionary kid. I know we didn't get into any of that in this interview, but like we never had much money growing up. But my parents were like very well educated. They both had master's degrees, and they like chose poverty in order to be around those that lacked opportunity to like share hope with them. And like I grew up with like literally like we would have homeless people like sleeping on our couch. Like we would be feeding people like food outside like right out of our house. Like on Thanksgiving, we would just like set up tables like right outside of our house and have hundreds of people just come eat from our neighborhood, because we're living in an impoverished neighborhood by choice. So because of that, I was like homeschooled too, because the schools around us were always like so bad. But that upbringing, I think it gives me such a unique perspective on the world and like what actually matters, what's valuable.
It gives you good drives to give back, and you see also with like opportunity like this, like okay, let's make it big. You see what's possible, and you know what you want to do with it in the future, right? So I think also like you're now in month 3, you know, just imagine yourself after 3 years, because just like we spoke before this call, you're still a newbie, because at the end of the day, it's all time in the game, right? So yeah, the future looks bright, and it's crazy. It's crazy what's possible, because it's all online. If you have something that works, why not sell it to more people, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, it's absolutely crazy how much opportunity is up there, and like how much of an impact I think an individual human being can have. Like in school and stuff, we're taught that like we're a result of like millions of years of evolution, and like I think in school you kind of learn to be like a cog in the wheel a little bit, like stand in line, like do your job, and you don't realize like you can actually change the world. Like you affect the people around you more than you know, and if you have some resources, it's like you can really affect so many people's lives. And with like YouTube and stuff too. Like Samuel, like you're affecting hundreds of thousands of people's lives, I think, in positive ways, like making them believe they can do more. Yeah. And so much of our limits are self-imposed limits in our own mind.
Yeah, it's true. And that's why I do what I do, man. So what I want to get back to is, because you went straight away like balls deep, like okay, building a team, boom, okay, test more products. So I like that, because it will have you fail quick, and when you fail quick, you get more knowledge quicker, right? So what is some of the lessons you can share for someone who is maybe new, or within those first couple months, like, so they can either avoid it, or they can do something that you did that ended up helping you a lot to go to that 400K month?
Yeah. I think that one of the things that stops a lot of people from succeeding, and threatened to stop me from succeeding as well, is worrying too much about all the unknowns, instead of just understanding that like once you face them, like then you can worry about them. Like, trust me, there are enough problems that you're going to have to try and overcome. And I know there's still so many ahead for me. As I start actually meeting with lawyers and figure out my tax stuff and like all of that, like there's still so much unknown for me. And I know that I'm not doing everything right now. Like I know that there's things that I need to improve, but I also know that I'm going to be able to figure it out, because I have people like you. I have people like my coach. Like there's resources out there. There's people that can help you to bridge the gaps where you have knowledge or where you don't have knowledge. And because of that, like, don't let yourself get overwhelmed by like all this stuff that you don't even need to worry about yet.
It's better even to just be impulsive. I've seen that, because I've seen hundreds of people succeed. Like, don't overthink the process. I'm someone, I only need to know a small portion of the picture and I will do it, because at the end of the day, you can never know everything, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think what takes a lot of people out is you have uninformed optimism at the very beginning when you start like learning about e-commerce or drop shipping, and you're just like optimistic. And then you start to learn all of the difficult things that you actually have to do to make it happen. And you go from uninformed optimism to informed pessimism. And in a state of pessimism, you're not going to achieve anything because you're not going to try, because you're like, you talk yourself out of it. You're like, hey, if I try, I'm not going to make it. This is just way too hard for me. And that literally stops you from attempting things. You need to then break through that informed pessimism to an informed optimism. And I'm hoping that's like kind of where I've reached now, where I have a little bit of an idea of how it all works now. Like I still have probably I probably know like 5% of things and have 95% of things still to learn for sure. But like I've seen the whole process happen. Like I've gone through the entire thing and like seen the revenue come in now. And now I'm optimistic and I know a lot of the shortfalls and difficulties.
The place where you're at right now is a very good place, because you've seen the success right now and you're still like in the beginning phases. But I remember when I was at that spot, bro, I couldn't even sleep at night. You're that excited for the next day to work on it more in your store, all these things. And it's like as if a new world, like this e-com world, opens up, right? So what I want to ask before we leave is like overall the elite program, like what has it done for you? Can you share your honest opinion, or for someone who's like on the fence?
Yeah. So the bottom line is it doesn't matter. And let me finish this because it sounds worse than it is at the beginning, but it doesn't matter if you're in the course or not. You have to put in a ton of hard work. Like you are going to have to work hard. But where the course is invaluable is you can put in a ton of effort into things that don't matter, that don't actually move you forward, that don't actually help you achieve the goals that you're trying to achieve. So no matter what, you have to work hard, but the course helps you ensure that you're working hard on the things that you actually have to work hard on in order to succeed. So it just saves you so much time and effort working on things that don't matter, but then also like it expanded my mind on like what I could actually achieve. Like just having the crazy standards of this is how much you have to test to be in this program. Like you guys guarantee that you're going to make $100,000 in revenue if you do the work. And like when I first saw that, I'm like, there's no way they could guarantee that, because like in 15 years of YouTube, it's like in a 3-month period, $100,000 of revenue is hard to come by. Like very few times that I achieved that in a 15-year period. And I'm like, in your first 3 months, you're going to guarantee $100,000 in revenue? Like this guy is crazy. But then what happened? I'm in month 3 right now and I've done $600,000 of revenue, bro. Like it's crazy.
So
and it's just because you guys actually know the inputs that lead to the outputs. So joining the course, if you're willing to work hard, it's like, why not join the course and then work really hard on stuff that you know is going to matter and actually help you succeed? Because like doing YouTube for 15 years, trust me, I have spent literal years trying to build up channels with no potential. And just like trying and failing. And like, I've never joined a course for anything before this. Like I've always been like, I can figure it out. Like I'm going to pull myself up by my own bootstraps. And this course has like changed my whole perspective on whether or not that's a good mindset for life. Like, I don't think it's actually that, like, yeah, okay, it's good to think that you can achieve it like I did, but it's not good to like stay foolish and force yourself to learn something slowly when someone else has a cheat code for you. And it's like in a video game, you know, like if you have like the walkthrough or whatever in a video game, it is so much easier to beat the video game. So in real life, why not just get the walkthrough? And it's like, yeah, you still have to play the game. You still have to do the work. Like you're still going to have to put in freaking long days, and there is going to be some stress sometimes, but it's like you can go through that knowing that everything that you need in order to overcome those difficult days, in order to achieve what you want to achieve, it's like you have all those resources at your fingertips now. You have the people that have done it right before you, just like one message away. You can, and that is like an invaluable thing. It truly is. Like you guys are undercharging for elite for sure.
Wow. Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Thank you. You said it very well, and yeah, to me it means a lot as well to have you like unpack it. You know, like we give the tools, we show you where to look, but you then come in and put in the actual fucking work because you see the chances, right? So I think the next year, 25, will be crazy for you if you keep that same momentum, same energy. I know what will happen because I've been in this game, and $1 million a month is not far away. And from that moment on, can do the next step. We can have you along with us in the mastermind, join like the big guys, and then like you will watch your full outer world like completely change. So yes, bro, I'm very excited for you what's to come.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I'm excited to keep learning from you guys. And my coach has been talking to me about the mastermind. I definitely think I want to join it because it feels like kind of what I'm trying to do now, like building out the team and stuff, is pretty much like what the mastermind is all about. Trying to like transition a little bit from a dropshipping store to an actual brand. Like I want to build out like an influencer outreach program. Like I think I can set up like just a tiny team to like reach out to like maybe 100 influencers a day or something and start getting some UGC content and user generated content for those of you guys who don't know, which then you can turn into more ads, right? You can post the user generated content on your own socials as long as like that's in the contract or whatever. You get like a referral program going. Like I've been trying to get my coach to teach me Google ads, but I know that's part of the mastermind as well. But like you can make it obviously to millions with just Facebook ads, but it's like I was looking through our analytics.
To do.
Yeah. Like we've like one person like literally spent like $700 through a Google search. And I was like, what the heck? Like I haven't spent a minute on SEO. Like, it has to be people seeing the Facebook ad and then later like searching us or something. So like I know that like getting that like Google flow going, which is like kind of getting the back end running. We actually have made like $2,000 or $3,000 from like email outreach now, like even beyond the like abandoned cart funnels and stuff that you guys help us set up. Like my sister and I have been working on like actual proactive emails. And like that revenue is super high margin, right? Because you're not paying for ads for it. So it's like I know there's still so many ways to keep improving and going. Yeah,
trust me. But we'll be here along the way to help you. And just like I said, crazy what you've been able to do. So yeah, guys. With that said, leave a like for Jacob. It's insane what he's done in such short amount of time. Subscribe to the channel to see more interviews just like this. And see you in the next one. Ciao.